Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
It's 7:06 on O'Connor and Company. Thanks for tuning in here on this Thursday morning in your nation's capital. Coming up at 8:05, KT McFarland will be here, and at 8:35, the executive director of the National Cherry Blossom Festival, Diana Mayhew. It's Larry O'Connor. Julie Gunlock is here as well on a Thursday. And Julie, I've been very open in the fact that I'm a little hungover. We had a late night last night. We had, Meredith and I were in town for a beautiful celebration of Fisher House's 100th Fisher House home that has just been completed and opened.
That's wonderful.
The number of families that this organization has helped, families of our military and our veterans, it's incredible. And so you go to a reception in Washington, and what do you think? First thing, free wine.
Yeah,
which we had plenty.
It's a drinky town.
It is. We had plenty of free wine, and then we crashed over at our friend Chris Plant's house. He pulled out the little, the convertible sofa bed for us, and and we crashed at Chris's house because he lives near where this event was, and so Chris starts plying me with vodka because he wants all the gossip and dirt that's going on in my life and in the radio industry, of course. And so we were up late. We were up late drinking. I'm not going to lie about it. But
did you really stay at the Plant's house?
Yeah.
Really?
So Meredith is there right now. I think Chris is making her
night.
Some scrambled eggs and getting
that was going. A late night. Oof.
Very late night. And but here's the weird thing. So here I am. I'm on the air. I'm saying that I'm a little hungover, but you're the one who's feeling a little nauseous this morning. So are you okay?
Honestly, the flu. Look, every parent is going to hear this that's listening and go, I know this. I feel this. If my friends, the Fords, are listening, they're good friends of ours. I swear their kids have been sick. It's like one gets sick, then they get better, then the next gets sick, and then they get better, and then the parents get sick. And we've been doing that a lot in our house. So I think a lot of parents around here will feel this right now
because flu is going around.
It's my
sure.
turn.
Yeah,
it's my turn.
Well,
so I'm feeling a little under the weather. Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
Well, I mean, you said it's morning time and you're not. I figured.
I wish I was feeling this way because of a hangover, but instead it's just a little bit of the flu.
I thought you were pregnant.
Larry,
why is that?
Thank you for saying. That on the air.
Why is that funny? You could be expecting.
That is hilarious.
That'd be amazing.
That would be amazing. I am not expecting.
All right. Well, I'm just waiting to hear something definitive.
Women can just have the flu, Larry. Not every time we want to throw up.
Suggesting they
that we're pregnant.
Have the flu. I'm just saying. All right. By the way, as we were coming into town yesterday, driving into D.C., and we drive a Tesla, of course, as I've mentioned previously. Mm-hmm. It's funny. It's like we drove a Tesla before it was cool and before it was
no longer cool.
The target of terrorism. Yeah.
Although it is still cool.
It's a pretty horrible thing. Elon Musk actually spoke about this the other night on Fox News.
And they want to hurt Tesla because we're stopping this terrible waste and corruption in the government. And I guess they're bad people. Bad people will do bad things.
Yeah, bad people do bad things, and these are specifically bad leftists who, it's a rent-a-mob mentality. They are torching Teslas. They're vandalizing Teslas. They're vandalizing Tesla dealerships. They're setting fire to Tesla charge. It's amazing. We just allocated in the Green New Deal nonsense, climate change, inflation reduction scam that Joe Biden celebrated. That it was such a popular success that it really helped Kamala Harris's electoral chances. That he was spending what did they spend, like $12 billion, $8 billion, $9 billion on a nationwide network of chargers for electric vehicles, and I think Pete Buttigieg was able to make 8 of them, 9 of them, I think, with all that money. Elon Musk has literally already created a network of chargers. There are charging stations from coast to coast. You can drive your EV from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean utilizing Tesla's network of chargers. You don't need the government to pay for it, and the leftists are burning them down. They're destroying them. They're absolutely unhinged. So, so everyone should know that Teslas have what's called Sentry mode. So when you park your car somewhere, you turn on Sentry mode, and everything that happens by your car is being recorded with a whole network of cameras that surround the car. So anybody who is doing this, if you come and key my car, we'll know exactly who you are and we will find you. And that's what's starting to happen. We're actually getting some arrests now of these dirtbags who are vandalizing.
And very dumb. I mean, these people are very stupid.
Yeah, no, this is not a Mensa meeting going on here.
Right.
I'll try to burn down
Yeah.
Teslas and Tesla dealerships. But you've heard nothing
No.
from Democrats, anyone in leadership, saying that this has to stop.
No, they're
all
encouraging
you hear
it.
is
No,
equivocation. Yeah.
No, it's not all you hear. Not just you hear encouragement. Jasmine Crockett, Representative Jasmine Crockett from Texas, she was on the news yesterday. She was saying, "I want to see this. I want to see this." And she said, "I want Elon brought down."
Yeah, here's what she exactly said. This was on a Zoom call for an organization called Tesla Takedown.
I'll make sure that I keep it short, but I am truly here for very selfish reasons. Starting with on March 29th, it's my birthday. And all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down. Yes, I'll make sure.
Taken down. What does that mean exactly, to take someone down?
She is a perfect representative of the Democrat Party, which is a party of violence, a party of instability, a party of insane people. She is the perfect representation of that new Democrat Party. This is what we have to deal with today: the encouragement of violence, and that's what their party has become.
Yesterday, during the White House briefing, Caroline Leavitt, White House spokesperson, spoke to this.
Reagan, go ahead.
Thank you, Caroline. Across the country, Tesla cars are being lit on fire, dealerships are being shot up, Molotov cocktails are being used. There was a website posted yesterday that shared the addresses of private Tesla owners and reportedly had Kash Patel's information on it. AG Bondi has called this acts of domestic terrorism. Does the White House have any indication that this is some sort of coordinated movement or that it's being funded by some outside group? And do you know if the investigation by the DOJ is being investigated as incidents of organized terror?
I believe the Attorney General has made her comments clear on that. She is investigating these events as acts of domestic terrorism, and we fully condemn them. And as I said earlier to Jackie's question, we think it's despicable what is happening to not just this American company, but also their innocent employees. And again, innocent Americans who drive these vehicles. And we condemn it wholeheartedly.
80,000 Americans are employed by the Tesla Corporation, either through manufacturing these vehicles or working in the dealerships or in some other tangential way directly supporting that organization. Also, its stock is part of portfolios of many independent retirement accounts, whether you own the stock outright or it's part of a mutual fund or an EFT that you're tracking so that you can, have a good retirement. Or for that matter, if you work for a state agency. For instance, the state of Minnesota public employees, their pension fund is heavily invested in Tesla. Here's the governor of Minnesota.
Saying on my phone, I don't know, some of you know this on the iPhone, they've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So
there's the governor of Minnesota rooting for the failure of a stock that his state is heavily invested in, and other Americans. They're rooting for America's failure, and they're rooting, as we said, for violence against these people, the people who own the car, because they've got Musk derangement syndrome is the only way we can put it.
That's right.
A little bit more on this and what people are saying and how the left is encouraging this behavior and what's going to be done about it in just a moment, though. First, it's 7:15, and all you Tesla drivers, you're in traffic right now. We got to take care of that. Every 10 minutes, first on the fives with Jamie Wood.
WMAL, making sense of the news.
They're taking to the streets or the parking lots.
Tonight, the FBI and ATF now investigating multiple cases of possible arson targeting Teslas and Cybertrucks.
This dramatic video shows multiple cars in flames. Police say the attacker used Molotov cocktails. It's the latest in more than a dozen instances of arson and vandalism targeting Tesla.
The same suspect shot more Teslas with a gun. Tesla Cybertrucks were set on fire in Kansas City, and earlier this month, shots fired at a Tesla dealership in Oregon. Cybertrucks on fire in Seattle.
Wow, you guys like petty acts of domestic terrorism, huh?
That's The Daily Show. And
So funny.
That's the crowd applauding petty acts of domestic terrorism. There's nothing petty about this at all. That was The Daily Show. That's the crowd cheering this on.
Cases of possible arson targeting Teslas and Cybertrucks.
It's something, isn't it?
It really...
Listen, when they show you who they are, pay attention to it. Look at what MSNBC did here, by the way. They did a little thing where Donald Trump, the president of the United States, was asked about whether he would contemplate labeling these acts of violence that are clearly coordinated as domestic terrorism. And he said this. So listen to what Trump says in response to that question, and then listen to what the MSNBC host says.
I'll do that. I'll do it. I'm going to stop them. We catch anybody doing it because they're harming a great American company. Let me tell you, you do it to Tesla and you do it to any company, we're going to catch you and you're going to go through hell.
And I want to be clear that, and you know what, let me back it up because I want you to hear the question is specifically about violence at these Tesla dealerships here. Oh, darn it. I hate it when that happens. Hang on.
The violence that's been going on around the country at dealerships, some say they should be labeled domestic terrorists.
I will do that. I'll do it. I'm going to stop them. We catch anybody doing it because they're harming a great American company. Let me tell you, you do it to Tesla and you do it to any company, we're going to catch you and you're going to go through hell.
All right. So again, the question was about violence at Tesla dealerships and against Tesla owners. Listen to what MSNBC says as they come back from that clip.
So just to be clear, you protest a private company, you are labeled by this administration a domestic terrorist. Did
you see that?
Yes.
The question was specifically about violence. Yes. And Trump says, we're going to get you if you're participating in violence against these people. That is that. And she said, I love that she starts it with just to be clear. You know, whenever... Just to be
clear, I'm going to distort this.
And now I'm going to distort it. Just to be clear, anytime someone on MSNBC begins a statement with just to be clear, they're about to deceive you.
You protest a private company, you are labeled by this administration a domestic terrorist.
There you go. You
God.
Protest a private company. Now, this isn't about protesting.
Yeah.
This is about violence.
You know, I also want to, I feel like we get wound up and then everyone forgets what we're talking about. What is Musk doing? What is Musk doing? He's trying to cut government waste.
Yes.
And this is how they react. Unnecessary overlap and duplication, fraudulent payments. This is what he's trying to root out. I mean, people who have taken advantage of taxpayers for years to the tune of billions of dollars. This is what he's trying to root out. And the absolute unhinged, violent reaction of the left, I mean, this is terrifying that they can't in any way have a civilized reaction to literally measures to bring good governance to Washington. They're completely off their rocker.
Listen to Jessica Tarlov last night on Fox News.
Do we have to? Can we just read a transcript?
Oh, no, you're going to love this one. Because there's always... Remember when they always claimed that we were engaged in whataboutism when we were saying, it's like Trump did this. And we said, well, Obama did that too. Oh, it's whataboutism. All right. Yes. So listen to this one.
We talked about Dylan Mulvaney, a single trans influencer who was on a single can of beer for months. And that can of beer set the conservative movement on proverbial fire, rooting against at least half an American company, the Anheuser-Busch side of things. Kid Rock out there doing target practice with Budweiser cans, people vowing to decimate that brand. And Dylan Mulvaney has much less of an impact on people's lives than Elon Musk does.
There you go. See, it's the same
She's got to be kidding me.
No,
You've got to be kidding me.
You can't make
We
it
boycott.
up.
We boycott.
Right.
We don't set things on fire.
You guys,
and you're allowed to.
You guys don't want to buy a Tesla, don't buy a Tesla.
Don't buy a Tesla.
Or if you open up your refrigerator and you see a case of Tesla that you've already purchased and you don't want to drink it anymore. That's right. I said case of Tesla. Go ahead and take your Tesla that you own, that you purchased, into your backyard, and you can do target practice on your Tesla the way many people did to make a statement about Bud Light.
Tarloff is so revolting. She has honestly, don't even get me started on Tarloff and her defense of porn in school libraries, her defense of transing kids. I have had it with Tarloff. But this drives me absolutely crazy. You're right. The right never does this. The right never does this kind of violent behavior in reaction to companies going off the rails. And Larry, how many years have we dealt with this? It's not just Ben and Jerry's. Okay, we have to have pride-colored Oreos and M&Ms every June. It's like everything's the pride flag. And do we react violently? No, we sit there and go, oh God, I'm just going to avoid Target for a month. Right? That's what we do. We just avoid things.
Are you sure you're not pregnant?
You are so going to have to do some training after that comment.
It is 7:23.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
7:37. It's O'Connor and Company. Thanks for tuning in. Coming up at 8:05, we're going to speak with KT McFarland. 8:35. The director of the National Cherry Blossom Festival, Diana Mayhew. You got to get your brackets in, okay, because the games begin today, March Madness time. And just a little hint: if you're vexed, if you're not sure between one matchup, if the school involves a Catholic saint's name, go ahead, take it. Xavier, Gonzaga, St. John's, UC San Diego, just go for it. See, even San Diego is a saint's name. Julie Gunlock, good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Do you do the bracketology thing? Do you?
I don't. I'm so sorry. I'm literally the worst co-host for this, and I'm hoping we can move on quickly because I don't even know what it means.
All right, then. Let's move on, shall we? Because we're spending a lot of time here sort of marking the attempts to end various departments either in the government or funded by the government. Earlier we talked about the Institute of Peace, which is apparently a very violent place. And now we are giving you the update on the Department of Education. I once again want to say, and I try to do this as much as possible, we know that many of our listeners work in the federal government. And if this is affecting you in your personal lives, we do feel bad about that. Except there's one exception. If you work in the Department of Education, I'm not shedding any tears for you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been wanting this place to get shut down for a long time, and you should have seen the writing on the wall. I'm not enjoying it necessarily, but I am relieved that we're finally doing this. So the executive order abolishing the Department of Education is scheduled to be signed today, I believe.
This is so exciting.
Now,
and you know
who's
going to be there.
He can't do it just by executive order. It's calling for legislative action. But yes, it is exciting. Who's going to wait? He's going to do the whole ceremony. He's going to do the whole.
He's going to do the whole. It's going to be. I hope I'm okay to say this, but I mean they've announced it. But there is going to be an event at the White House, and guess who's going?
Who?
Heather Hunter. Our executive producer.
Our executive producer, Heather Hunter?
Yes.
I hope she's bringing those darling little girls.
Of course she is. Of course she is.
And well, she's a homeschooling mom. So
she's a homeschooling mom. So she's going to be there with her kids. It's going to be a great day. And she'll have pictures. Hope she tweets them.
Yes. We will look for that. Great to know that somebody on this show gets invited to the White House for something.
Yeah. And there will be a whole, just to plug my own organization, the Independent Women's Forum will be there as well. And we have a chapter leader, Stephanie Lundquist-Awara, who has
we just had her
broke that story about the woke, politicized ABCs in a Fairfax County school. She has also been invited, so she will be there as well. So we'll have lots of pictures to share.
Yes, the woke ABCs were for celebrating National Women's Month.
I will not be there because I don't want to infect the entire White House with my illness.
We appreciate that. Yeah, the Secret Service would wrestle you to the ground on that when they. M is for men who menstruate, I believe, is how that happened. In celebration for National Women's Month, and Minnesota. M is for Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, who is one of those aforementioned men, I believe. So so we're going to be closing this up, and the executive order will trigger the process now. And one suspects that this could be incorporated in the reconciliation package that is being engineered right now through Chairman Jason Smith and the Ways and Means Committee in the House. And, of course, that means you only need a majority in the House and Senate. You don't need to get 60 votes for a reconciliation package.
That's
right.
right.
So this is very, very real.
Yes.
And everyone who was, there was a day of protest in Prince George's County yesterday where teachers were walking. Nothing says don't harm our children and our public schools like union teachers walking off the job in protest. There are going to be huge screaming fits about how this is going to harm education, but actually, and funding for education. But the fact of the matter is, states will actually end up getting more money.
That's exactly right.
With fewer strings attached.
That's exactly. This will not in any way touch special ed or school lunches or anything else. They're gonna scare you. Parents need to understand. They're gonna scare you. They're gonna tell you kids are gonna, special needs kids are not gonna get their accommodations.
Please.
They're going to say kids are going to starve. They're going to say, it is going to be dogs living with cats. It's going to be the end of the world.
As a parent of 2 special needs children, if any member of the National Education Association or the American Federation of Teachers dare to use that card in this argument and say that special needs children are going to be hurt and suffered, after what they did to special needs children during the pandemic, where they forced our children who have legal documents called IEPs, individualized education protocols, that are legal binding agreements
and they
with
ignored them.
And they were ignored. They were trampled on. They were shredded. No. You will take my child's name out of your mouth and not use them for your political purposes. You want an uprising right now. You haven't seen one until you've seen special needs parents who are sick and tired of
But let me tell you, special needs parents are often used, and they are vulnerable to some of this messaging.
Exploited is what
they're exploited, they're used, and they are vulnerable to this messaging. If you have a friend who has special needs kids, it is time to get the talking points out and reassure them that the Department of Education, the closure of the Department of Education, is not going to affect these programs.
Yeah.
And also, anybody on that uses school lunches, your kid's not going to starve. That is run through the U.S. Department of Agriculture. None of this is going to change a thing. It's actually going to improve
it's going to help
education.
And if I could, and listen, I'm excited that Heather Hunter is going to be at the White House for the signing ceremony, and it's going to be a great photo op. Please, I humbly suggest to anyone in the White House communications team that might be listening, the message needs to be that you are actually improving public schools in this country by doing this. And because those are the facts, and that needs to be the celebration here. We're not celebrating ending a government agency. We're celebrating that we are actually getting money to the kids who need it most in our school system, because the way it's been going for the last 50 years is broken and hasn't worked. 744. Now, whether you're having trouble selling your home or you're just now considering listing your home, I need you to pick up the phone and call Debbie, Sarah, and Reynolds Empower Home Team with Keller Williams, because well, they're the best. One of the great benefits of using Reynolds Empower Home Team to sell your home is they've got this extensive database of qualified buyers. Your home's guaranteed to sell fast, and sell for top dollar. In fact, they get their clients 6.1% more than the average agent. Debbie and Sarah specialize in selling homes that didn't sell the first time around. So don't be downhearted. Don't feel like there's something wrong with your home. No, maybe it was just the strategy, let's say, that your last team took to sell your home. Debbie and Sarah, now they're going to provide you a free market evaluation to tell you how your house sits in the market right now, what the last team did wrong, and what they're going to do right. In fact, they're so confident that if your home doesn't sell, Debbie and Sarah will buy it at a price agreeable to you, and that's their guarantee in writing. Call them 844-344-SOLD. 844-344-SOLD or DebbieHasTheBuyers.com. 745 WMAL traffic and weather every 10 minutes. First on the fives with Jamie Whitten. She's in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
WMAL, making sense of the forecast, because you never know what Mother Nature has in store. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Did you mention the woke ABCs in Fairfax County Public Schools?
Did.
I thought you did. Apparently, we have an update on this. What's the current status of A is for abortion, T is for transgender, and M is for mansplaining?
Mansplain. Stephanie Lundquist Aurora. She's the Fairfax County IWN, the Independent Women's Network chapter leader. She broke this story that's right. For Women's History Month, Fairfax County School in Springfield, Virginia, has this display of the ABCs in a high school. I thought high school students should already know the ABCs, but apparently they put up an ABC display. A is for abortion. I'm not kidding you. Like, let's find the most divisive issue, the most political, most liberal, most lefty issue, and put that up for A. Not Amelia Earhart or Aviator, as Stephanie suggested in her piece, and she wrote this up for the Daily Caller. It's really, again, M for mansplain, T for transgender woman. So a man. I just want to give an update on this.
Yes.
It is the display. There have been parents calling the Fairfax County School District and saying, take this down. Students are upset about this. Students have been very vocal and being upset about this. It's still up. They have dug their heels in. And apparently, according to sources, some of the people at that particular high school don't want this display up, but the superintendent is insisting that it stay up. And so I encourage everybody, call Michelle Reed, call the superintendent, and I'll give the phone number here, 703-913-3800. This is disgusting.
That's 703-913-3800.
3800. Thank you, Larry, for telling me to slow down. Because I'm so angry about this.
We're fired up right now. And after all, a woman in your condition, you want to keep the blood pressure down.
K is for kill, Mary O'Connor. But this really is upsetting to a lot of parents. Look, this school district claims, it, respects diversity, but they don't respect diversity of thought. They don't respect diversity of political thought, and they certainly don't respect religious students who might be offended by some of this stuff. It's just gross political indoctrination in Fairfax County Public Schools.
And if I could, because we talked about this a little bit yesterday, and it's good that we have an update, and it's right in our backyard, and it's a perfect example of everything that's wrong and why, this is what your Department of Education at the federal level encourages. And but
that's right.
But I also want to say, as because we said, the A is for abortion thing is offensive to anybody with a conscience, religious, understands science and biology. It is offensive. But it also occurred to me, tragically, I guarantee you that there are some young ladies who go to this high school in Fairfax who have, sadly, tragically, and we pray for them, have had an abortion.
Yeah.
And they are probably feeling, we know the psychological ramifications of women who go through this and put themselves through this. Imagine how those young women feel. Imagine a young teenage girl going to high school who is living with post-abortion trauma, walking down the hallway and seeing a coat hanger and a positive pregnancy test as the graphic image with
for
A is for abortion, celebrating this thing.
Yes.
That you are traumatized over. So they are putting those girls through this every single day they walk down the hall of this school. How unfeeling, how disturbing. And I think, actually, frankly, as you called it, complain, what was that number again?
703-913-3800.
When you called a complaint, you might want to raise that as well. So you're not just some religious, wacko, right-wing MAGA nut.
Which they will dismiss you as one instantly.
Right. How about say, you know what, my daughter is traumatized by this. The idea of this and the horror. Or how about this? What if there's a young lady who goes to this high school whose mother had a miscarriage? And she was hoping to have a little brother or a little sister, but instead, and now they're celebrating killing a preborn infant. There is something so unfeeling and so despicable about what they're doing. And that's what Carl Frisch, the president of your Fairfax County School Board, wants. This is exactly what they want.
Carl Frisch, who literally took the oath on a stack of pornographic books.
That's right.
This is what we're talking. The level of just disgusting. They are disgusting. It's hard to
time
to
do something about it, and we're going to continue to give it more attention and more national attention here using this platform. It's 7:53.